Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here with my next Boruto Anime episode review. This one's going to be for episode 48, which is called the Genin Documentary. And yeah, this was an interesting episode. Going into it, I didn't really know what to expect from it, but by the end of it, I thought it was actually a really well done episode. There was a lot of very nice character moments in it, and while I think overall the main plot as such of the documentary itself was maybe a little kind of like light on content, it wasn't exactly like important. The main thing of just kind of this being to a degree our kind of loser team, and having them go through this arc of kind of seeing that their team captain, Naruto, all these other characters have also struggled like them, or repeaters like Iwabe. It was interesting to kind of have that focus, and that like it was a Iwabe episode overall, I suppose, given what they did with it. But it was also like an Udon episode as well, which I think really helped the episode to kind of get to know him better, because we barely knew him when he was younger in original Naruto. So we kind of very much rely on him now that he's older, kind of explaining to us kind of how he got to this position of being a Jonin. And he got his cool moments just acknowledging that, like, we didn't even know, like, from before that, like, he had failed the graduation test going into this. We didn't necessarily know that he was the worst member of Konohamaru's team. You could sort of maybe figure it out, but like it always felt like that team was a bit of a mess back then. But that was about all you got from it. So it was kind of cool to get it that he was sort of the failure of the team. He didn't have any sort of a speciality from before, and then him revealing here that, like, okay, his kind of snotty nose is actually the root of his kind of speciality jutsu, which is a kind of a water style mixed with snot jutsu, dripping nose kind of jutsu. It was really cool the way they kind of showed it. I'm glad they resisted the urge to make it like really like green and disgusting, and instead just kind of went for more of, I suppose, kind of syrupy kind of style water, just to make it actually look somewhat like acceptable. But it was cool the way he just stopped everything with it, and it kind of makes it a bit more of a kind of a solid water jutsu that isn't just ice. So that's actually a really, I think, versatile jutsu that he has. The setup for it seemed to take a long while though, which I suppose is the only kind of a problem with it. But I'd like to see more of just what exactly he can do, like is kind of water style his main thing and stuff like that. But either way, it was cool to see him in the, I suppose, Kakashi position for a little bit here, getting to kind of teach his team a lesson of, like, the director of the documentary wanting them to focus on doing cool stuff, and eventually they kind of gave into it, and they didn't realize the error of what they were doing, which was that just doing the jutsus to be cool is not really what being a ninja is about, and that it's a documentary to try and encourage the youth of the Leaf Village to actually, join the academy where the attendance is down, and being a ninja isn't as big as it was in the past. So like you can understand maybe the director feeling that, oh, we'll get more people to join by showing them how cool it is to do all this crazy ninjutsu stuff, whereas obviously the actual ninja are more about showing the core of what it is to be a ninja, which is like determination, using your power, I suppose, responsibly, and so on. Like guts, determination being the core of kind of what we're about here. Because in the end documentary, they didn't really show jutsu. They basically just showed that here is this group of genin kind of helping out on this construction site. Maybe they used their jutsu to help them do that, but that's what it's about. It's about never giving up. That's what Iwabe is about, that's what Udon's about, and that's also what Naruto was about. So I like that they kind of included, I suppose, as part of the documentary, that Naruto revealing to them that, yeah, that was also me, I failed the exam and was scolded a lot. And then the really funny moment right at the end of just him revealing that, oh yeah, by the way, I never actually, like, passed the tuning exam, so I'm technically sort of still a Genin because I didn't go through all of the different stages. Um, I think we roughly get that he is given the title of Jonin. He just kind of skips over kind of tuning, because of everything that happened. But he still has this kind of weird kind of history of as a character of just never doing the tuning exam, and he's still the Hokage. And I suppose for Iwabe that was a very inspiring thing, and I like that it was Naruto gave this team this mission because he was aware that they needed it the most, but also that Iwabe sort of needed it the most, and that he felt that now that he was a Genin, maybe he'd repeat being a Genin over and over again, just like he repeated in the academy. But Naruto kind of liked the fact that he stuck in and is now this super determined character who can go places. And Naruto kind of sees something that was special in him. That was definitely, I think, a cool little thing to add in at the end of just kind of linking all this stuff together. As I said, other than that, it wasn't really the most impactful episode in that the documentary bit itself and the actual like director and so on. I get it, he failed at being a shinobi, so he kind of thinks it's all about being cool. Maybe that's why he wasn't suited to being a shinobi. But in the end, it was just kind of like, okay, they don't want to use this team because they had a suspension and they're not suited to acting and so on. Udon kind of took the team out of the picture, and then they're forced to act and help the director again, where he tries to come up with a big action shot by destroying a building that was due to be demolished. It gave everyone a chance to, I suppose, shine on the team. Metal Lee coming in and destroying some of the initial debris. Iwabe using his earth style to smash lots of the debris and get rid of the kind of piece of construction equipment that was falling down. And then Udon kind of finishing the job by kind of getting it all with his kind of dripping nose jutsu. And then Denki was there to kind of analyze the building and be like, no, it is actually fully going to fall down. We actually have to act here. It's not structurally safe. They could have maybe emphasized Denki's role in this a little bit more. I suppose we did get to see him use the substitution jutsu earlier on, when he hasn't really used jutsu all that much. But I suppose they're just still establishing that he, at this point, can only really use basic jutsu, and he is more reliant on his, I suppose, his teammates to do a lot of the really heavy action stuff, and he can only use very basic jutsu, and he has to rely on his intelligence to be the core of the team, because Iwabe isn't exactly the smartest character, and Metal Lee tends to, when put under pressure, kind of just turn into a sort of a mess. So Denki tends to be like the, I suppose, cool head of the team, and that he's always able to stick with the strategies and so on. But yeah, I think solid episode. I actually liked that it was just a cool focus on Team 5, I believe we got that they were called here. Next episode, they're teasing that it's going to be Sumere's team, and we're going to get to see them, and it looks like Hanabi is their kind of Jonin mentor. So that's actually, I think, going to be fun. And if in general we get an episode about each of the teams, that would be really cool. I don't know if they're going to do that, because there are, I think, 2 or 3 teams where we barely know the names of the characters. Like the one with the kind of Kakashi clone kind of kid. I don't know if we're going to get an episode about them. I feel it'll just be like, we kind of are... I suppose we will get an Inoshika Cho episode, but I assume they'll do that just before they go back to Team 7. So we'll see just how many of the teams they specifically do. But I like this as a kind of setup to... We're not fully nominating anyone just yet for the tuning exams, but we're making it clear that they're happening. They're happening in the Leaf Village, and once again, you have to be nominated by your sensei to actually participate in them, and you're obviously not guaranteed to pass them. That's what they're setting up right now. So it gives them a little bit of space to work with, in that I could definitely see us having a bunch of, I suppose, not filler episodes, but maybe we're not going to have too many arcs. Maybe we'll get a small arc, and then once we're out of that and we've dealt with some of the teams a little bit more, then we can maybe go into the movie setting up the tuning exam arc, and we can move on from there. So that's basically my thoughts on kind of where we are right now with Boruto. This episode I thought was kind of surprisingly good and had some excellent character moments for Udon, Iwabe, and then some really nice Naruto moments right at the end. I suppose we also did get a interesting kind of Naruto and Shikamaru kind of talk, where they mentioned that Shigadai is kind of a little bit more focused. He's actually studying kind of battle tactics, and I suppose that's setting up that Shikadai is actually going to be a real kind of threat going into the tuning exams, which we know is the case, that the kind of finals more or less end up being, one of the final matches ends up being Boruto versus Shikadai. So that's a cool setup. It's like a subtle little thing of just their fathers kind of talking about it. So yeah, that's my review for episode 48, the Genin documentary. In the comments, let me know what your thoughts were on the episode. But yeah, that's been the review. Thanks for watching, and bye.